I sort of realized as I uploaded the last video to YouTube that I did miss a few concepts slightly, so I'm just going to go over some really quickly here. I realized I went over to this tab and I just showed stealth area of whatever spotting, but you can also do this with, it just destroys your vision. So I don't actually really ever use this, but you can if you want to. It shows you your movement ranges for things. So if we had a guy kind of come over here a little bit, and you see how that adjusts, it shows you how far he can move. If you want to limit that, there's also visibility range. So you see how this is like the extent of my visibility range. That means that I can't see the numbers of troops in these cities in the distance. I don't have anybody that can quite spot these things. But because this is within the visibility range to a decent extent, I don't know why it's showing that I have visibility here when I can't actually see these. Maybe they just don't have good visibility. But this is showing me exact troop numbers. It's showing me what I've got up against. However, in River Run, for example, where I know there's a stack, you can see there's a general in there, I can't actually reach it. So that's something cool to keep in mind. Visibility is important. Also keeping in mind that each turn your enemy can recruit just the same as you can. So despite the fact that Steve's only got 28 units in here, if I hit it next turn, who knows, if he was smart and he predicted my movement, he could have up to 100 in here because he's got all the reinforcements from these locations. He's got reinforcements from Duskendale, and as we might assume, based on how close we can get, he can also get that close to Rosby. So keep that in mind. Your enemy may lay traps for you like that. The other essential reason that I made this video, probably the most important, is turn priorities. So if, for example, I see a little dragon and a rider standing up here, the first move I want to make, let's say that, for example, I had all these already in a stack. Before the turn started, they were all just sitting here menacingly. I didn't have to do this at the beginning of the turn. I just had 24 stacks sitting there ready to go. The first move of the turn I would want to make would be this, to snipe. Now, this may not actually go that well for me. This is just kind of an example. I probably would lose that fight because Sunfire is broken as hell. But the reason I would want to do that with my big stack is because of turn priority. So if I had that stack and Steve just had one unit out here and he attacked it, there's a chance he could turn block it if that's not my first move. So turn priority goes that basically the first move of your turn is the most important one. It's the most likely one to go through without getting turn blocked. Some of it does seem to go down to arbitrary dice roll values based on how the game is operating. But we want to be mindful of that, especially when we have a big stack out. Turn priority is huge and should always be kept in mind. Your biggest stack is your most important move, should be the earliest moves of your turn, and then the moves towards the end of the turn should be the moves that you are making that are less important. Like, let's say, oh, I want a wall over here. Well, then this is what I'm going to do once I've made every other turn. So this would not happen at the beginning of the turn. I would just be doing this once I'd done everything else important, because this is a little bit of a less important move. Strategic, sure. But if it gets turn blocked, oh well, I will just fix it the next turn. So you would want to be going all across your lands, which but for the most part will not be as widespread out as Matt's will be. And you want to be moving your big stacks and your most important strategic moves first in the turn, as early as possible. The more important the move feels, the earlier on in the turn order it should go. Okay, I'm not going to waste more of your time. Those are the essentials. Good luck.